when I look into your faces and you look back at me and you say, that's my boy. And you say so because you raised the boy. You say so because you loved the boy. And you say so because deep down you know this boy loves you back.
The newly elected President of Botswana, Duma Boko, has just delivered an inauguration speech that's already making waves worldwide. He's not just laying out his vision for a stronger, more independent Botswana, but he's making moves that challenge some of the biggest powers on the planet. In today's video, we'll be taking you through the powerful moments from President Duma Boko's speech, how his pledge to close down the U.S. military base in Botswana is already stirring international responses, and what it all means for the future of Africa's place on the global stage. Oh, and here's a twist. This inauguration was attended by none other than South Africa's firebrand leader, Julius Malema. Yes, Malema was right there, cheering on Boko and bringing his own flavor of energy to the event.
Mr. Malema, can you please tell us, you are here, there's so much at home also.
Yeah.
Bofu has left, but here you are. Why was it important not to focus on internal issues, but rather to come here?
We are not having any internal issue. We are here to celebrate democracy in action in Botswana, and that there is no any other issue that is happening in South Africa which can destabilize the organization from coming to observe this moment and respect the people of Botswana. We come a long way with the President of Botswana, and we have gone through the trenches together, and we're not going to miss this opportunity.
On Talimpofu, we haven't gotten your reaction properly. Is the EFF falling apart?
It can't fall apart because you can't destroy that which you have not built. It is our own child, it's our own baby, and we will decide what we do with it. The EFF is the future, and it cannot be destabilized by opportunism.
And President Zuma, your relationship?
I don't have any relationship with President Zuma. We are political contenders. He's a leader of a political party. I'm a leader of a political party. That's where our relationship starts and ends. Where we agree on issues, we'll share a common perspective. Where we disagree, we'll disagree respectfully so.
Dumelang Botswana. Please be seated. President of the Republic of Zimbabwe, His Excellency Dr. Emerson Mnangagwa. President of the Republic of Zambia, His Excellency Mr. Hakainde Hichilema. President of the Republic of Namibia, His Excellency Dr. Nangolo Mbumba. Prime Minister of the Kingdom of Eswatini, Right Honorable Mr. Russell Dlamini. Prime Minister of the Republic of Mozambique, Mr. Andrano Malelane. Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, His Excellency Kithure Kindiki. Deputy President of the Republic of South Africa, Mr. Paul Mashatile. Deputy Prime Minister of the Kingdom of Lesotho, Me Ntumeng Justina Majara. Deputy Prime Minister of the United Republic of Tanzania, Dr. Doto Mashaka. Vice President of the Republic of Botswana, Mr. Ndaba Nkosinathi Haulala. Your Lordship, the Chief Justice of the Republic of Botswana, Mr. Terence Ranua. Speaker of the National Assembly, Ditapelo Keorapes. Former President of the Republic of Botswana, His Excellency Dr. Mokwetsi Eric Kyabetsi Masisi. Former President of the Republic of Botswana, His Excellency Lieutenant General Dr. Seretse-Khama Ian Khan. Former President of the Republic of Botswana, His Excellency Dr. Festus Gontebanye Mogai. All honorable ministers here present, President of the Court of Appeal, Me Ebuhotau, Deputy President of the National Assembly, Me Pushi Manyene, Leader of the Opposition, Mr. Dumelang Saleshando, Honorable Members of Parliament, Khosi Puso Gaboroni, Lemarara Otle, Permanent Secretary to the President, Me Emma Peloetet, Judge President of the Industrial Court and Justices of the Court of Appeal, Attorney General of the Republic of Botswana, Me Marco Mpeleha Abram, Judges of the High Court, members of the Diplomatic Corps, Baruti, heads of international organizations, President of the Customary Court of Appeal, Commander, Botswana Defense Force, Mr. Placid Diratsagae Segoko, and other service chiefs present, permanent secretaries here present, members of the media, performing artists, ladies and gentlemen, a very good morning to you all. My fellow citizens, compatriots, and dear friends of the Republic of Botswana from near and far, I stand before you today and before God Almighty profoundly humbled. In our culture, a child is born to a community and raised by a village. It takes a village, sometimes several villages. A few decades back, a boy was born to the small village of Mahalapi. He played in those dusty plains, walked barefooted to school like the rest of the children, made friends, laughed and played, learned. He was growing, nestled in the safety of community, growing tall, growing big. But could he grow up? This question happily is not mine to answer. I leave it to the village, to the country, and to the world. I stand before you to celebrate the very foundation of the Republic: community, love, respect, Ubuntu. I stand before you to celebrate the esteemed and paramount office of citizen of the Republic of Botswana. I am because you are. You raised this boy. You nurtured this boy. This boy grew right before you. And it gives me pride, therefore, when I look into your faces and you look back at me and you say, "That's my boy." And you say so because you raised the boy. You say so because you loved the boy. And you say so because deep down you know this boy loves you back. You now understand, if you didn't before, this boy loves you deeply. This boy cares for you. He is your boy. This is indeed a historic moment, most humbling and most sobering. It is one of those rarefied moments that can only be acknowledged in retrospect. It is a story baked into the history of this country from inception. Where this story will take us, only God knows. This story encompasses more than what one man can comprehend. It reaches far across the sand-baked sands of Karakubis to the forests of Kavimba, from the acacias of Oliphant's Drift to the shepherd's trees of Omawenen, from the plains of Mabule to the bridge of Kazungul. This is your story. Embrace it. Be a part of it. Acknowledge the role that you played and continue to play in its unfolding. Stand hand in hand and shoulder to shoulder in this hour of great blessing. It is with a deep sense of appreciation that I stand before you today, the living embodiment of your deep and true resolve. Together, we usher in a new political dawn. This inauguration colorfully and poignantly demonstrates the human spirit and its desire to live in dignity, in peace, with hope, and in unity with fellow humans. This desire is a powerful force for social reconstruction. You, my fellow Botswana, are the true architects of this day, a day that will forever be etched in the annals of our history and the history of Africa and the history of the world. This is Botswana. We have yet again become an intriguing as well as an instructive case study of democracy at work, not in abstraction, but for the world to learn from. The world watches with an eagerness, ready to see how the story of this beautiful country progresses. For nearly 80 years, our democracy remained unbroken, unproven, and untested. On the 30th of October this year, together, we tested this democracy in a novel way. We tested the peace and stability of our daily lives. We tested the liberty and security of every person in this beautiful land. Invigilated by the world, we waited for the outcome of our efforts. It is with pride and perhaps even a tinge of relief that I can proudly say we have passed this test with flying colors. We toiled internally and externally. We tussled with a decision that weighed the weight of 2.7 million people. It was not an easy decision. I know even now a little voice lingered in the back of your minds asking you, did I make the right choice? You will answer that for yourself in the next 5 years. That is the beauty of democracy. With confidence, I dare say to you, with the same care and diligence that you raised a young boy from Mahalape, you will create the Botswana we all desire. I dare say to you, you have given me strength and hope, and I'm prepared to return strength and hope to you 1,000-fold. I dare say that to every person, young and old, that today is possible only because of the collective effort that went into yesterday. I dare say that everything is possible for you tomorrow. So my beautiful and joyous fellow citizens, I say to you, dare to dream about a brighter tomorrow, and let's walk there together. There is so much love in this country and in this world. If I could, I would invite all persons from all over the world to celebrate with us today. Our differences and our similarities are what make this life interesting and beautiful. Glory be to God. Glory be to God. To those that did not live to see today's propitious moment, today's overcast morning, we feel your presence in our hearts. This day is yours as well. Celebrate with us as we honor your contribution, having raised the many of us who remain. Your love was acta non verbal. Today, our country is claiming its space in a galaxy of stars, thanks to the statesmanship exhibited by our former President Remokgweetsi Eric Kiabetswe Masisi. Please give him some love. Please hug him in your soul. Please embrace him in your heart. Remasisi, Botswana has set the example of a true democracy at work for the whole world to see and emulate. For that singular act, the former president will remain inscribed prominently in our hearts. Is written his name in flaming letters into the portals of eternity. The message I impart is that this is one republic, one nation under God. Lines are drawn in the sand and blown away by the wind. We cannot allow ourselves to be drawn into squabbles about where the line was and who stood on which side. The message I impart is unity, togetherness. We are the village that the future will look back to and either praise or look back in lamentation. Let's send our roaring voices into the future to be the wind beneath our sails. Let's carry those who came before us, those we have today, and those who will come after us to greater heights than we have scaled. Today, let's continue to create a history that we will all be proud of. Kelona badiri ba ditso, kelona ba le rapetseng, kelona ba le dumetseng.
So, who is Duma Boko? For those who don't know, he's a lawyer, a human rights advocate, and a leader known for his no-nonsense approach toward colonial influences and Western intervention in Africa. Boko's campaign was all about giving Botswana back to its people and focusing on African values, African resources, and an African future. Boko has been a strong critic of the way Africa has been drawn into agreements with foreign countries, often to the detriment of local development and sovereignty. And he didn't waste a moment on his big day. His inauguration speech was filled with the kind of language that has the people of Botswana, and indeed all of Africa, feeling a renewed sense of pride and hope. One of the biggest bombshells Boko dropped, he announced that under his administration, the U.S. military base in Botswana will be officially shut down. That's right. In a move no one saw coming, Boko declared that Botswana would no longer host foreign military bases. He stated, and I quote, "Botswana will not be a pawn in a global chess game. We stand for peace, not for occupation." This line alone, whoa.
As the unity of the opposition in Botswana has delivered this regime change, where we've seen democracy in action. And this serves as a very good example. And the transition and the inauguration, how it was handled, it goes a long way in teaching future generations on how we handle political contestation and do not declare each other as enemies, but as opponents who are having differences on who should be. So President Boko keeps the hopes of young people alive. His speech was so inspiring, and preaching unity and how he described the former President Masisi, you can see that he comes from a good heart. And it is up to President Masisi to now show from here that he really means good for this country. So we are happy and we're inspired and we're proud of Botswana. This is South Africa. This is Southern Africa. We are one thing.
Yeah. Speaking of being one thing, of course, work that you're going to be doing with collaborations with the government.
Absolutely. I'm going to come more often. I was restricted by former President.
What were the reasons, by the way?
You should ask him why did he ban me? Because I don't understand. I mean, I'm on my way now to see HNH, President of Zambia. I was banned by Lungu fighting for HNH because Lungu arrested HNH and said he was obstructing traffic. I said, you cannot arrest an opponent for those reasons. And then Lungu banned me. HNH comes to power, doesn't uplift my restriction.
Talk about sending a message. His argument? That a U.S. military presence compromises Botswana's neutrality and, more broadly, Africa's unity. According to Boko, foreign bases create dependencies and serve as footholds for powers that historically have prioritized their interests over Africa's development. Boko is pushing a larger narrative here, a call for Africa to be self-reliant, united, and free from the remnants of colonial influence. And the closing of the U.S. base is more than just a political move. It's symbolic. He's making it clear that Botswana will control its own destiny, no strings attached. Now, let's talk about one of the more colorful aspects of this inauguration: the presence of South African leader Julius Malema. Malema, known for his fiery speeches and his strong stance against neo-colonialism, was right there in the front row, supporting Boko's vision. It was almost like a passing of the torch. Two leaders who are committed to challenging the global status quo side by side. Malema's presence wasn't just symbolic either. He's spoken about the possibility of a united Africa, free from foreign influence, and has called out leaders who compromise African interests for foreign aid. With Boko, Malema sees a partner, someone ready to take a stand that so many leaders have been hesitant to make. Boko's speech also had powerful words about youth and the role they play in Botswana's future. He spoke directly to the young people of Botswana, telling them they're the ones who will build this new, stronger nation. He called for education reforms that prioritize African history, culture, and values over Western curriculums. He talked about job creation, not through foreign investment that takes profits out of Africa, but by building industries that will benefit the people of Botswana. Boko is emphasizing a new path, one that many African countries are eager to follow. So, what does this mean for Botswana? And what does it mean for Africa? For Botswana, Boko's administration is promising to bring sweeping changes. He's putting Botswana's people, its resources, and its future first. He's already pledging partnerships with neighboring African countries to create a strong, interconnected regional economy. But on a larger scale, Boko's message is a wake-up call to the continent. By ending foreign military presence and embracing a Botswana-first approach, he's setting an example of what a self-reliant Africa could look like. Now here's where I want to hear from you. Is Boko's approach the beginning of a new era for Botswana and Africa? Will more African leaders start to close foreign military bases and assert their independence? Or do you think this will face pushback on the global stage? Let's talk about it in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe, like, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any updates on stories that are shaping Africa's future. Until next time, stay informed, stay empowered, and let's keep pushing for an Africa that stands on its own 2 feet.